Hello YouTubers, this is the March for Our Lives Part 2, and in this video I'm going to talk about the guns. But understand that I am pro-Second Amendment. I don't believe in any of these gun bans or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I think that when you have to fill out paperwork in order to buy a gun, that's infringing upon the rights that they say cannot and shall not be infringed upon. But I digress. And the people in the March for Our Lives protest, their signs, with the platitudes plastered all over them, they were kind of all over the place. And then I saw a lot of YouTubers, going in and interviewing some of those people and asking them questions, and their answers were all over the place. It's funny how they don't trust the government, but they want the government to control and confiscate the guns. And you use the weapons of war term, and I'm going to show you some weapons of war in here. And they use the assault rifle or assault weapons term, which is kind of a bogus term, but I did go to Wikipedia to kind of get an idea or get a sense of what an assault weapon is supposed to be. So you can take the Wikipedia article when I show it to you with a grain of salt if you want to, but I needed to know the criteria for it, because even pro-Second Amendment people versus anti-Second Amendment people, neither side has explained what an assault weapon is. It's like, you can't just say it's a bogus term. You have to give me something to work with, and the people who don't want us to have guns, they can't give me an explanation either. Nobody seems to know, but yet they keep throwing around the same terminology. So I want you to look at this vehicle. This is called an MRAP. Now, from the looks of this is military, right? And it is a military vehicle. But our police in the United States have some of these. Why do they need this vehicle? The glass on these vehicles is supposed to be able to handle a 50 caliber round fired into it. Who's using 50 caliber rounds to shoot at the police? Why do they need something this heavily armored? Just a question. Now, I believe this is the same vehicle, if I'm not mistaken. It's still the MRAP. Look at the soldier getting out of this vehicle. Pay attention to what this soldier is wearing. Body armor and the combat boots, the Kevlar helmet. Pay attention to this, because on the next picture you'll see something that looks very strange to me. See this police officer wearing the same type gear, just different colors. Different colored, fatigues. Now the vehicle is not the MRAP, I believe it's the Bearcat. But why do they have this? Matter of fact, I just noticed that there's a police officer standing in the right up top on the roof of the vehicle, or coming out that little hole, I guess. I didn't notice that until just a second ago as I'm doing this audio. And why do they get to have this stuff? And there are people out there at the March for Our Lives that they don't want us to be able to wear body armor like civilians. They don't want us to have guns. They don't want us to have body armor, even though some of them will say, oh, no. You can still keep your bolt-action rifles. You can keep your pistols. You can keep your shotguns for shooting clay pigeons, paper targets, and defending your home. You're lying. You are being disingenuous when you say stuff like that, because they do not want just the AR-15. And when you use the weapons of war term, you're being disingenuous there as well. Now here's another picture with an MRAP. All right, this police officer's dressed just normally, but look at the vehicle. It's got police on the side, and it's in the desert colors. I mean, this looks like it just came out of, like Desert Storm kind of thing, and they brought it over here, and they didn't even bother to repaint it in the blue color. They just put police on it. Here's another picture. And these guys are dressed in military fatigues. I mean, they're wearing the camo. I thought there were laws on the books that prevented the military and the police from intertwining with one another and becoming the other. The military is not supposed to do the job of the police, and the police aren't supposed to go to war. They look like they're about to go to war. They look like, a police officer standing there next to some Navy SEALs or some Green Berets or something. Now check this vehicle out. I don't know the name of this vehicle. I've seen them before. It's some kind of armored APC. Why do they need this thing? Why? I bet my guns could not even scratch the paint on this thing. Why do they need it? Who are they going to war with? The Bloods and Crips? Or are they setting their chess pieces up so they can go to war with the American population when the economy collapses, if it does? Is that what they're planning on doing? Do the police even realize when they get these vehicles what they're going to be used for? Or do they just think, man, this is cool as all get out? What is this about? To me, it looks very suspicious. They should not have this kind of equipment. As a matter of fact, there was a police department or sheriff's department or something that was either asking for Apache helicopters or it was these unmanned drones. And they don't need either one of them. Now, I'll give you some gun weapons of war. Here's the 1903 Springfield. This weapon saw 4 major conflicts. It's a bolt-action rifle, it's .30-06. Pretty good hunting gun, but they used it to hunt people in the wars, like what snipers would use. Okay. Here's the 1911 Colt 1911. And this gun saw the same 4 major conflicts. Here is the 1912 Winchester shotgun. It also saw the same 4 major conflicts. So they don't want to go after any gun but the AR-15. They're lying when they tell you. And when they use that weapon of war terms, they're coming after these kind of guns too. Don't let them shoot you a line because they're full of it. What wars am I talking about? World War I, World War II, Korea, and the infamous Vietnam. This is a whole other country. So they don't want the other guns, right? They're not weapons of war because it's a 12-gauge shotgun and it's a pump action. They used those in World War I and II. They only tell us they want to go after this futuristic, aggressive-looking thing called an AR-15. There's nothing special about this gun. It's just easy to maintain and it's pretty popular. And it's not that hard to shoot. That's the reason why the government wants it. It's a kind of a, I don't know how long a range it has, but I'd say medium range to long range. It's pretty good, depending on whether you have the .223 caliber or the .308 caliber. Most people only talk about the .308, especially when they're trying to demonize this gun, but it also comes in a .223, which is a smaller bullet. It's not much bigger than a .22 caliber round. But they don't talk about that. And here's the assault rifle, criteria that I found on Wikipedia. And if you look up under the for example section, it says, second line from the bottom, it says, semi-automatic only rifles like the Colt AR-15 are not, I repeat, not assault rifles. They do not have select fire capabilities. So that means that they can't go from semi-automatic to 3-shot burst, then to fully auto. They don't have a switch on there that you can do that with, supposedly. So they do not meet the requirements to be an assault rifle, but people keep calling it that because it just looks aggressive. Now look at this quilt. March for Our Lives quilt. I even looked in the horizontal and vertical bars because sometimes I like to find the hidden picture kind of thing. I've always liked that kind of stuff. I don't see an AR-15 anywhere on this quilt. I don't see a bolt-action rifle or a shotgun. But I do see a pistol that looks a lot like the Colt 1911. I could be wrong. Could be something else, but it looks just like the 1911. If they don't want your handguns, they're lying when they tell you this stuff. Watch what they do. Don't just listen to what they say. Now I want to show you a couple of videos. And the first one's going to be Eric Holder's speech. And the significance of this is the fact that they are using brainwashing techniques on us. Every time you turn around, there's a new shooting. For example, the Parkland shooting happened, which I don't really think, I'm not really sure it did happen. I question a lot of these shootings because I can't believe we're all losing our minds this bad. It is about demonizing the gun, getting people to go, oh my God, another shooting. We've got to get rid of these guns. That's what it's trying to do. That's what they're trying to do with this. But in Eric Holder's speech, he claims he was only talking about the black youth. I'm not going to show you the whole speech, but I'm going to show you about 30 seconds or so. I have a 3.5-minute section of that speech, and he never says who he's talking about. He's talking in vague terms. He says he's talking about the black youth, but he never mentions them. He did mention Al Sharpton once, but he never specifies who he's talking about. So I think he's lying. And he talks about we need to have a better message than just on a Monday morning we tell people that guns are bad. We need to brainwash them. We need to hammer them every single day. But instead of it being platitudes on a sign-in protest or a bumper sticker, they're doing it with actions. Every time you flip on the news, there's something new. The Parkland shooting, for example. You had that. Before the dust was even settling with it good, you had a guy out there sending out explosive packages, like the old Unabomber, right? Before the dust settled with that, then you had a woman going up into YouTube and shooting some people. Same kind of crap. And 3 events happened almost on top of each other. Then you had a guy in Germany not too long ago, took a delivery truck and ran over a mob of people. So I guess they're going to start banning delivery trucks now. You know? Had a gassing in Syria. Just chaos everywhere. Everybody's looking up under blades of grass to find bin Laden, or looking up under their beds before they go to sleep, checking their closet out to see if bin Laden's hiding in there somewhere. This is what it's about. I don't want to leave my house because a bin Laden might blow me up, or some crazy kid might shoot me with a gun, and we got to get rid of it all. That's what it's about, people. It's about hammering it home, but it's not with platitudes, it's with actions. That's all it's about. So here's Eric Holder's speech.
I've also asked the school board to make a part of every day some kind of anti-violence, anti-gun message. Every day, every school, at every level. One thing that I think is clear with young people and with adults as well is that we just have to be repetitive about this. It's not enough to simply have a catchy ad on a Monday and then only do it every Monday. We need to do this every day of the week and just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
Now that you've watched that speech, I've got another video for you just to show you how you can fake the news. This comes from InfoWars, the dreaded Alex Jones that the mainstream media just hates so much. They try to discredit him at every turn. And it doesn't matter what anybody thinks of Alex Jones and the people that work for InfoWars. Doesn't matter. That's not the issue. Just watch the video. And just think about it. After the car blows up in the video, think about it being on Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, and what they show you is the people laying there. They don't show you the people running out there to lay down and to play victims. The video footage starts where the victims are already laying down, and they're like, oh, I'm hurt. Think about it.
And this one is like, you can't even...
We'll talk over this one, too. Go ahead and roll this one, guys.
This was in Iraq in what year? I don't see it here. This was last year?
You know, I'm not sure. I think it was 2016, but I really am not sure.
So here the guy, he goes, he puts the...
Thank you. It's 2016, yes.
So he puts the bomb in the car, gets in the drive-away vehicle and
heads
off.
Yeah.
It's out of range. And then...
All right, so there's your suspected terrorist. This crowded area, and then watch what happens.
No one's there. Boom.
There goes the car bomb.
Car is explosions.
No one was there. No one was in the area, in the vicinity.
Okay, everyone, now it's time.
And now here we go. All right, everybody move in.
Everyone move in. Oh, we've injured.
He's down. He's down.
Oh, I've been hurt.
And he's hurt. He's down. He's out.
I've been hurt.
Oh, the shrapnel.
Oh my. Please help us.
And look at this guy. Oh, we need help. Bring in the ambulance.
Please send us weapons so that we can fight.
And wait a second.
This is what they're
Hold up.
Send us weapons so we can fight against Assad.
So I'm going to finish this off with a few extra things. Here's Miss Delaney Tarr's speech, some of it, and then after that it's going to be David Hogg, and then the final video is going to be my own thoughts on this whole thing. And I'm out. Peace.
But we will keep fighting. When they give us that inch, that bump stock ban, we will take a mile. We are not here for breadcrumbs, we are here for real change. We are here to lead.
We will come together. We will get rid of these public servants that only serve the gun lobby. And we will save lives. You are those heroes.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.